Hello there, we're back for another Spider-Man double draft, and we're going to take Infernus and Damning Caress here. Our goal is to stick to two colors unless we're playing green, and to choose cards that impact the board state. I think we've swung too far in the other direction. I felt like there were a number of games where we lost due to running out of gas, and now it feels like we're getting behind on board state and never catching up. So, big cheering crowd here. Conius is not in our colors, but he's a 5-drop, so by the time you have mana to play him, it's possible that you can splash him. So we're already breaking one of our rules here, where we're trying to stick to two colors if we're not green based, but we'll pick that up here. I don't think Crobel is a card that is much stronger than the other 5-drops, so we're not missing out on much here. Okay, Leyline Weaver is great. We'll take it. And we're in the Mayhem deck. Sadistic String Puller is something we will want. Alright, Mayhem deck would want a Deathflame Burst, and Kamen Ferric, even in the Mayhem deck, doesn't feel like it does enough. When you're discarding cards and clearing the board, you usually win by getting so far ahead in board state that you win, not by poking them to death in the air. Especially against blue-white decks, this card struggles. Okay, here we'll take a land, and we're not crazy about it, but we'll take either a Full Throttle Fanatic or a Shock. I think we'll take a Shock here, as we have 3 solid 2-drops already. And now we see Zakao Wheel, so green-red is a real possibility. We only have one black card that we would really care about. And Conius is a black-white. So we can't hit confirm pick in this view, but we'll take it. Alright. Well, that solidifies it. We're going to try red-green again. We've struggled with and against red-green. But Terrific Team Up is very good value. You very easily in these decks can cast it for 2 mana, instant speed. The +1 on the 2 creatures you put on can be very relevant and can make you trade up against a creature that is blocking against you, or just do more damage to face, in addition to being pretty hard removal for just about everything. Maybe Ozor gets too big that 2 creatures can't amass enough power to destroy it, but we'll take that. We'll see if Gororel wheels or Scout the City wheels. Another Infernus. We love it. We'll run more mountains than forests as a result. Would Bargain Spinner in green-red ever fetch us anything we care about? I mean, I don't think we want Surveyor or Kitten. So I can't think of an aura that we want, but we'll take it here anyways. Put it in the sideboard. Galvanized Workforce is probably better than the Full Throttle Fanatic, and we'll take Romantic Rendezvous and have maybe a little bit of a Mayhem sub-theme. The 2 cards we have with a Mayhem payoff are Deathflame Burst and Sadistic String Puller. I mean, alternatively, we could take Caracals, make our 2-drop slot solid. We probably want that over the Workforce, honestly. There's another Zakao. We'll take Wardens, but hope to get better 3-drops. Attacking with a 2-3 can be tough, especially if you're on the draw. You play a 2-3 on turn 3, then how are you going to attack through with it? We'll take another Romantic Rendezvous and Scout the City. We can only fit so much fluff in the deck, though. Move over here. fluff / draw spells over here. Another cheering crowd. Interesting. We'll take that with Leyline Weaver. I'm tempted to take Rouse the Swarm, but spiders we have just 4 of. I mean, we'll have 5 once we take this Weaver. And I doubt it wheels, but we could end up playing any of these 4. Bayo is great. We'll take Wisecrack. It's better removal than Knife Trick for the larger threats. I don't think Arachnologist is what we want to be doing, and we have plenty of Romantic Rendezvous. Another Wisecrack, and we'll take Goro. That means we'll be able to kick out one of the 2 drops we're not crazy about. We don't want more than 8 for sure. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. And we'll take another Deathflame Burst and put Wardens into our side deck. Fawn, Knife Trick. I actually don't know how many cards we have in this view because it's cut off. And this pile is definitely getting reduced. Cutting at least 1, if not both, Scout the Cities. Knife Tricks are also on the chopping block. Firebrand Scheme is on the chopping block. More card selection. I think we'll just cut that now. So to discard, we have 2 Goros. Deathflame Burst. I believe that's it. Rendezvous, we probably don't need Wardens. 2, 4, 6, 7. That's probably the top we want. And we'll actually keep a Surveil land here, even though it's not green, red. Alright, so there goes Scout the City. And I think that's the deck. 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 2 drops, 7 removal. We'll see how this plays out. The cheering crowd has the ability to actually help our opponents more than us. Are we actually playing best of 1? I think we're potentially in the best of 1 format here. I saw 4 or 5 rounds. No, we're in traditional. Okay. And we should have checked our mountains. We're going to want a mountain bias for Bayo, who can bank red mana, and for Infernus, who's going to be larger based on the number of mountains we have. The Leyline Weaver nicely has a dual or flexible casting cost, so we can cast it even if we don't have green mana. here is where we will probably throw out Leyline Weaver ahead of Cheering Crowd. Okay, hit that land. We can actually tapped. Double drop here. I think it's better to play in Furnace. Go fetch a mountain. And we'll destroy his Full Throttle Fanatic by getting rid of Goro. Probably has removal for Infernus, just offering a trade of his Galvanized Workforce first. Ooh, he does not, and that's another mountain. Probably the best thing we could have drawn. I will throw out Bayo and then Cheering Crowd, I think. So let's actually attack with Bolt. Cheering Crowd could awkwardly let him play out some cards that would otherwise stick in his hand while he's land screwed, but Bayo is going to be able to use that mana when it dies to do a lot of damage to his face potentially, and we're pretty ahead on board here. Sack a mountain. We want to keep at least one green source besides our Leyline Weaver, I think. Despite Bayo being able to bank it. We do draw. We'll take action. And that's enough. He's seen enough. Okay. So what do we think he is? Mayhem? I guess he's got only red cards he's shown us, which makes sense. And these are flexible casting cards, both green and black. We will then keep it as is. Knife Trick is a good target for him. Instant speed removal is good because he's got some sorcery speed removal. Let's run it back as is, but like I said, add a bias towards our mountains over our forests. The only really two drops we have are Cruel Caracals. It's got cities later, so actually it might be better to just really bias in favor of the mountains. And 10-6-7, add a Galvanized Workforce over the Cruel Caracals. It's a lot of red, but it's what we signed up for. And there's nothing that we can't play in our hand. Throw down Surveillant. We're not holding up shock like this, but Leyline Weaver to Goro, it wouldn't surprise me if we can still end up using the shock pretty early. Alright, that is 1, 2, 3. An opportunity to cast Forest next turn. To attack, we can trample to make a. We know he has fight spells, so I think Fusing in web here is going to work out nicely. Arachnologist, unfortunately, is outside of shock range, but it's not outside of Deathflame Burst range. And assuming he doesn't kill our Leyline Weaver here, we'll be able to slam a Goro and a Deathflame Burst next turn. Opponent is not playing a regulation size deck. That's 40. I guess we can just count these three numbers instead of here and then add lands. So 41, 46, 49. Wisecrack is awkward here with the 2/3s and 1/3s. So you have Shock, 1 red mana, instant speed. If he does, we'll tap and shock his creature? That doesn't make sense. We'll just take Strength of Will. Okay. It's a big boy. Here, we'll attack with the Leyline Weaver here. Either get 2 extra damage or trade for his lizards after we shock it. Don't get to play the Goro, but the Goro won't trade with the Arachnologist, despite the name. It is not a spider. It's a human advisor. Big enough with those 4/1/1s to actually trade for Boris. That's unfortunate. And Wisecrack is still going to be awkward. There's a Furnace of his own. Okay, we can play our own. And then Wisecrack? No, it'll come in tap. So I think we want to slow him down. We will. Deathflame Burst, play Goro. Yes, he can smack us for 6 here, but if he does, he's not using the Arachnologist for mana. And Favorite Fighter will die to Wisecrack. If we so choose. We do so choose. So we can play Infernus here. Again for 2. Now blocking with Goro. If he's attacking, because the Crackback should be pretty good with Infernus. Ooh, okay, he actually taps the mana. I will not take this trade. We'd have to give up a forest. Not a forest, a mountain. And here's where we hit back for 9, and then he would kill us. So if he has any removal, we're dead. But I believe this is the correct line. Should have played that mountain pre-combat. The galvanized workforce is actually probably a good sign. Means he probably doesn't have removal. Nice. If he does nothing, we will surveil at the end of his turn. He does in fact block. Does in fact attack, allowing us to block Goro and make 2 1/1s before his instep expires. That's where that damage could have been relevant. Bayo dies, we can do 5 damage to face. If we had done that 1 extra damage, that's enough to win on this spot. Is he actually going to put counters on Galvanized Workforce? He is not. Kind of showing him what we're going to do here if he elects to kill Bayo instead of the Inferno. Okay, now I was trying to tap that land, not sacrifice it. Cheering crowd. Okay, let's attack through with everything but Bayo and our reach creature. Bayo's trigger is actually when she or he leaves the battlefield. So even if they have exile, that'll be good enough. 5, 6, 7, 9. We can do 9. Do it to him instead of myself. Okay. So success, felt like we didn't run out of things to do. Let's make those changes that we made while sideboarding, like increasing the mountain count to 11 functionally, cutting this for the Galvanized Workforce. Absolutely want to play first. This is a keeper for sure. I wonder what Zakow's win rate is. He has absolutely stopped us most of the time he's been played, but he's also a 7 mana card, so there's potentially a lot of games where the opponent has cards in hand and loses because they can't play out something cheaper than Zakaw. Another mountain in case we get the Infernus. Just slam the cheering crowd and hope. Like I said, I've definitely seen this card backfire, and this card has definitely backfired in my favor before. The mana that he creates is a risk. And the body may not be relevant if it ends up getting removed by like a Mothwing Shroud. We absolutely will take that action. We will. So play this Forest. he have destroyed target attacking creature? If he did, I wouldn't mind. We would get an extra mana out of it and trade 1 for 1. There's Scout the City. I don't love it. We may toss it with Romantic Rendezvous here. Or we can grab a land. I guess it's kind of free. So 1, 2, 3, 5 mana. Add more mana. Bayo's going off. We'll save those mountains until he's about to kill Bayo, or we reach the end step, as Bayo will make the red mana that we get from tapping mountains persist across phases. There's a Rala, okay. And this is where we'll hit QQ. We do get Infernus. We will take action. And we are 1 green mana short of playing Zakao. Of course, we can Romantic Rendezvous our Deathflame Burst. Cast that on Arola. Get mana back. This is essentially a 1 mana cost spell. Pretty efficient. Slam Goro. Hold up Shock. Yeah. Okay, I don't know why we had such a kind of anti-red-green deck sentiment, because this deck has worked out. It felt very good. I mean, we have Bayo doing crazy Bayo things and cheering crowd, so maybe it's the rares. That being said, can we cut Scout the City for maybe another Knife Trick and just make our mana that much better? Really, the only green cards we have are Zakao, and we have 2 more sources from here. So we have essentially 8 green sources. We could make our mana even better if we cut Scout the City. I think it's not that much of an upgrade over the Firebrain Scheme or Romantic Rendezvous. Maybe Kafan for +3/+1. Slap down our Asylum first. And we have a pretty good curve out here. We don't have any green for Zakao yet, but he's pretty far away from being cast anyways. Blue-white is scary. I feel like that is a matchup that red-green can struggle with. They just remove our big stuff with efficient removal, and we feel silly. Oh, does this not count as a mountain? I guess that's one reason to play a mountain instead of the tap lane first. What could he have that he's holding up instant speed reaction? I mean, I guess not spectacular tactics because nothing is on the field yet. Unstable experiment, right? And he's deciding whether he's going to use it as a 2-mana cycle or wait for a creature so that he can get the connive. Ooh, if he didn't hit a land, he's probably regretting not using that unstable experiment as a connive. As a cycle, I mean. Okay, that is not going to block anything. We will play Goro and the cheering crowd. Sounds like a movie title or an indie flick. We have 3, 4, 5 mana. I mean, we don't need to kill Murata. We don't need to play Infernus, but we are going to use our colorless mana to do this. We don't hold up Wisecrack this way because we tap Leyline Weaver. But I don't know what he would flash in besides the Death. Here that would really get us. And if he had a Demi, it probably would have made sense to flash him in end of the turn. When it looked like he had unstable experiment. So I'm not going to play around him top decking one specific rare. Okay, there's another forest for Zakal, so Zakal is going to come out. There's nothing he could have for 1 blue. That would stop us from playing Zakal. He will crew his carriage in response to us destroying his principal referee. But I think it's still the correct thing to do. We'll actually attack with Goro here, even though he has a pretty good block with Murata. As they'll give us something to do with our mana. There's not a good wisecrack target next turn / we don't draw anything. He also just has a lot of damage coming in his face, so if he blocks Goro, then he's taken at least 8. I think if I were in this stage, I would probably trade for the Infernus so we lose the land. Give the cheering crowd a counter and try to find like a Mothwing Shroud or something. There's the Unstable Experiment. That's probably in his starting hand. Okay. So Wisecrack actually couldn't be used on Murata, the referee, or Zora, but that was alright. We apparently did not need it. There's also the Phantasmal Vision that is not great against. Okay, final boss. We get to play first, and we'll keep it. Play mountains first, so Infernus can be as large as possible when you slam him turn 3. Opponent is playing a Clutter Cluster sleeve deck, regulation size. Green-white, it looks like. Wayline Weaver, that's a good one. We'll slam Infernus first. It'll be bigger than Bayo. He has reach, anyways. And I think I would rather him remove Infernus than Bayo. Yeah. +1 pastry counter makes his Leyline Weaver big enough to block Bayo. Perfect. Infernus gets to live a turn, and that means we'll slam Bayo. Be able to... Ooh, Wisecrack. I think not quite. Might be worth... Actually discarding a card to kill his Leyline Weaver here. Aggressive start, but I think stopping that mana and taking out a 3/3 as we tap mana to bank with Bayo is worth it. We'll get a mana back here if we cast Scout the City. Let's do that. Mountain will make Infernus big enough to attack through. Now we can hold up 2 Wisecracks. Even if he has spectacular tactics to protect his favorite fighter, we can just Wisecrack again. Yep. Bayo is becoming a problem as we bank more and more mana. We'll do more and more damage when he leaves the field. We do want to take care of this now. We can pay the ward, and we get some extra mana back from Bayo. Okay, he calls it there. Alright, I think I'm struggling to confirm that we need to play more things that affect the board quickly. And that red-green is a better combo pair because our rares are doing great work. Bayo put that game out of sight for our opponent pretty quickly there. Wisecrack looks pretty good. He's got the Prized Fighters and Chizak, which are good targets, as well as the Leyline Weavers. We haven't seen anything that would actually not be a good target for the Wisecrack, so we'll leave both of them in. Okay. Probably knows we have shock if we didn't pass soon enough. But we're not going to use it on that. This will play Mountain. In case we get an Infernus and want to play that before Boris. Bayo. So I think we actually play Bayo here. And use shock on his Caracals. We'll get that red mana right back after we spend it. Okay, yep, get him here. And that's his turn 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll have 4, 5, 4, 5, 6 mana. And web this for 2, have 4 mana left over. Because we might as well attack both. Oh, I'm tempted to do that, but... Well, actually, we're going to replay him. We're going to decline for now. Ah, don't get to pay anything, which is no fun. He has removed for Boris, like with a spectacular attack, we could be in a not wonderful spot, but it's a cow. Should be coming out pretty soon. And what we'll do here is burst his Leyline Weaver. Attack for 9. And then have Zakao next turn. Assuming he doesn't kill Leyline Weaver, I assume he would target Boris first. So 6-7 is going to attack into that Chizak nicely. He could double block, but we're in a pretty good position here if we just swing team. We actually have 13 trample coming at him, and he has 7 toughness. So he's dead. That's 6 trample damage, and then 2 Nice. So red-green got us there. Like I said, it's tough to tell as largely red. And we had a good amount of uncommons to support our rares, which did a lot of work. Bayo is always fun. Banking mana is nice. You don't waste mana with this. We played a lot of spells that ended up adding back mana, so it cheapened spells. It was a 2/3 flyer, which was good enough. It banked mana that would have been wasted otherwise, and finally, like it threatened to do damage to face, so it was great. Wisecrack, in the situations it was awkward, we won anyways. Terrific team up we didn't see. Death Flame Burst, we did get to play for 2 mana, aka 1 mana, with Bayo in a game, and these are really the cards that took us through, Cheering Crowd and Bayo, but they were supported by some good uncommons. Boris was there, but he was not necessary for us to win the last game. So I'll lean towards red-green decks and continue with the hypothesis that we need to play more 2-drops and cards that affect the board early on. Otherwise, even if we have 2-for-1 value, we can't catch up fast enough in this format. So good games. We'll see you in the next one.